Yeah, good morning, welcome back. In this class, so we are going to discuss the type study of the chordate animal, namely the frog, the common Indian green frog. Binomial is Rana hexadactyla. Rana hexadactyla. It is a common Indian green frog, Rana hexadactyla. So this class we are going to discuss the morphology of the common Indian green frog, only morphology. Okay, the next class that anatomy we are going to discuss. Okay. First is the systematic position or the classification of the Rana hexadactyla. This is important, it's expected a 2 marks question. Classification or systematic position. You know that phylum belongs to the phylum Chordata, and class Amphibia. Class Amphibia, it's why it the name Amphibia, it able to live in water on land. So class Amphibia, order Anura. So Anura, order, okay, order Anura, and the genus Rana, species hexadactyla. Hexa 6. Tactile means digits or fingers. Okay, we have 5 fingers. Pentatactile, penta, but the frog, it has the 6 digits or fingers. That's why that is comes under that species that named because of the presence of the 6 digits, the hexadactyla. Okay, that phylum Chordata, class Amphibia, order Anura, and the genus and species is the binomial. The first name, the first word of the binomial is the that indicates the genus, that second is the species. That's why the Rana hexadactyla is expected a 2 marks question, that classification. And you know that amphibian, it's amphibious, bio, life, it's a dual mode of life. It's a dual mode, it's able to live inland, on in water, sorry, on land, in water and on land. Amphi, both. It's a Greek meaning. Amphi means to, both. It able to live land and water. That's why the amphibia is very important. This is the first vertebrate to live on land. It is first evolution. The first is life originated in the water, then like fish. Imagine the first vertebrate is fish which live in water. So gradually aquatic to terrestrial, land. This is the first vertebrate to live on land. It's evolved some 360 million years ago. Okay, this is the first land vertebrate. It is almost, it is found everywhere. It's a diverse and abundant group, abundant, because since it is early, land, it is the first, it reaches the land from water. That's why it's at that time there is enough space, or there more space. That's why it spread almost all parts. It's early, because of the early diversification, it is abundant. Abundant, about 4,500 species are there. It's very important. It's 4,500 species are there. Okay, it is Amphibia, class Amphibia. It's since it's live in water, on land, it comes under the class Amphibia. Okay, so one of the order, that is the Anura, that comes under the this class is the order. It's Anura. Okay, more than, listen, 3,900 species. Okay, that's Anura. Order Anura, it contains more than 3,900 species, which includes toads and frogs. So our the common Indian green frog also comes under this order Anura, and class Amphibia, Okay, that's all. that frog and the toads all comes under this order Anura. And what is habitat where it lives? Okay, the habitat, listen, it lives freshwater ponds, streams, okay, streams, and moist, that the places where there is a moisture, moist places. Okay, yeah? And what is the feeding habit? What is the food? Its feeding habit. It on small animals like insect, worms, and small fishes, worms. That is slugs and the snails. It eat that small animals like this insect, worms, fishes, and slugs and snails. And so listen, it is early development. So during the early development, it's that frog, early development means that larva, it is like the fish. That larva of the frog is like a fish. It's called a tadpole. It's tadpole. It is a fully aquatic, and it respires with the help of the gills like a fish. So this is the very good evidence. This is the very good evidence. It says that that frogs which is emerged from, which is evolved from the fishes. Since that young one of the frog, that larva of the frog, namely the tadpole, it is 100%, it is like a fish, it is live in water, and it respires with the help of the gills. Okay, that's all. And so coming to the frog, it is a poikilothermic. It is the poikilotherms. Poikilotherm means poikilotherms, or otherwise it is known as cold-blooded. Poikilotherms or cold-blooded. It's otherwise known as poikilotherms or cold-blooded. Why it is called cold-blooded or poikilotherms? Okay, cold-blooded or poikilotherms. So our V comes under the homeotherms or warm-blooded. Homeotherms or warm-blooded. Thermic, therma means temperature. Poikilothermics or cold-blooded, that means the body temperature varies, not maintaining the constant body temperature. Body temperature varies according to the surrounding temperature. Okay, that fluctuates. If the surrounding, so environmental temperature increases, body temperature also increases. During winter, surrounding temperature, environmental temperature, atmospheric temperature will be less, so that body temperature also drops, decreases. So the body temperature fluctuates according to the environment. So that that is called, that condition is called poikilotherms or cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. Okay, and so next in the introduction itself, I said that the frogs and toads, which comes under this order Anura. What is the difference between a frog and toad? So what is the difference between frog and toad? So listen, so characters, that divide into three. That first column is the characters. So in that character, how the that the frog and toads differs. That's family. First it's a Ranidae. Family, frog, that belongs to the family name Ranidae, and this is a Biphonidae. That is that toad is the Biphonidae. And body shape comes under the, it is slender. It is body is slender, lean. Okay, slender. See, but here it is a bulky. It is a bulky, fat, gundar. See that image. It's a more bulky. நம்ம தேரன்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லைங்களா, அப்படி இருக்கும். Jump பண்ணி போகும் ஸ்லோவாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அதான். That is more bulky, slender. And legs, it is a longer. See that hind limbs which are longer. Okay, that limbs which are longer, and here that limbs which are shorter limbs. And webbed feet. It is what is web? Interdigital membrane. See that hind leg. These are the fingers. Okay, these are the fingers. In between here there is a membrane, just like duck. நீங்க டக்ல பார்த்திருப்பீங்க வாத்துல. புரியுதுங்களா? அந்த மாதிரி இங்க என்ன இருக்கும்? In between the that digits or fingers, there is a membrane that are called the interdigital membrane or web. Okay, here web is present, webbed feet. It's helpful to swim in water. It's webbed feet is present. Here no web, it's absent. And skin is smooth and moist skin. In case of frog, that skin is smooth and moist. And moist, always wet, slimy in nature. Okay, smooth and moist. Here dry and covered with it's a rod-like glands, rounded, that projected. Okay, that glands are there. It is not smooth, which is rough. Teeth, maxillary and omarine teeth are present. That we are going to discuss. And now just you know that maxillary and omarine teeth. Maxilla, upper jaw is called maxilla, lower jaw is called mandible. So that upper jaw, namely that maxilla, bear the teeth that are maxillary and omarine teeth. Okay, that behind the nostril, inside the buccal cavity, that inwardly point, that is curved, that is that group of teeth are there, that are called omarine teeth, that prevent the escape of that prey when it catches the prey. So that inwardly pointed, that is curved, curved the teeth that are called omarine teeth, that prevent the escape of the prey. Prey means that food. Okay, see, listen, it is a omarine and maxillary teeth are present in case of frog. Here no any teeth, and egg formation. During the breeding season, it lays eggs. It lays eggs in clusters. Okay, in groups it lays. Okay, it groups it lays. Here that lays in strings. Okay, just like that beads on string. So in the mari. Okay, it is eggs are laid in the form of strings. But here that eggs are in the form of clusters. Laddu mari, imagine. Or laddu mari. Laddu is small sphericals, bundi. Other mari. For your understanding, I am telling. Okay, and the mari, that is that eggs are in clusters. But here that eggs which are strings. Okay, just like the beads on string. Okay, money nulla kota mari. Imagine. So on the mari. Okay, this is the that characteristic difference between the frog and toad. How the frog differs from the toad. Okay, this is expected question. Maybe 3 marks or 5 marks maybe. Next is the morphology, particularly that the Indian common Indian green frog, namely the Rana hexadactyla. So what is the morphology? You know that already, morphology, which is the study of the external feature. Listen, it is streamlined. But first the body is streamlined. Streamlined means it is what is that? Boat shaped. See, listen. That is body is streamlined. Like flight. Take the flight aeroplane. It is like this. It helpful to pierce, penetrate with less resistance. It fly. Okay, right? Penetrate the air. That provide less resistance. Take car. How the car is like this. Okay, motor car. Okay. Why that tip is narrow and pointed? Because that gives less resistance. Okay. Similarly, here the body is streamlined. That helpful in swimming. Okay, it is pointed, so that's why it appears in water. Okay, easily that swims. If it is a blend, okay, broad, it provides much resistance when swim inside the water. So that the body is streamlined, that's boat shaped. Okay, its body is streamlined and dorsoventrally flattened. Okay, dorsoventrally flattened. See here, dorsal upper ventral. Chappaya ibdi irukum. Dorsoventrally flattened. The body is, how the body is divided into? The body is divided into head and trunk. Body is divided into head and trunk. No neck. Okay, here the head and trunk. It's nothing but body. Trunk means. And body is covered with a smooth, slimy means whatever. Okay, slimy skin, loosely attached. Just like the grandma skin. Okay, it's loosely attached. Okay, loosely attached to the body wall. So dark green, it is a dark green. Upper side, it's a dorsal side, which is dark green. skin, and ventral side, see lower side it is white in color, okay, pale in color, okay, whitish, pale in color, and head is next, the head is triangular, almost the head is triangular and forms the snout. Snout means the tip, okay, it forms the that tip, okay, that tip, it forms the that pointed tip, that is called snout. Okay, what is the streamline? Body is divided into head and trunk. Head is triangular, that forms the snout. Skin color loosely attached, slimy. Okay, that's all. The next is mouth. Coming to the that head, that forms the snout. At the anterior, the tip of the head, there is a mouth. Okay, mouth that open wide. That mouth it open wide. Okay, and upper side. Upper side, there is a nostrils. Nostrils are there. Nostrils are there. Nostrils, that opening. See here, that nostrils. So this is the that external nostrils. Nostrils means that that nose opening. And eyes are there. Eyes, that behind the nostrils, that eyes are there. A pair of eyes. Eyes are projected above the general body surface. That eyes are, see, listen, the eyes are projected. Eyes are projected. So not found at the body surface. It is projected. Eyes are projected so above the body surface. That is eyes. A pair of eyes are there. And listen, eyes which are protected by the eyelids, eyelid, upper and lower eyelid, upper and lower eyelid. So we also have the upper and lower eyelid. For us, the lower eyelid is fixed, immovable, and upper eyelid is movable. But frog just opposite. It's quite opposite. The upper eyelid is immovable. It is fixed, and the lower eyelid it is movable. And that apart from this upper and lower eyelids, so there is another transparent one structure is there, that is called nictitating membrane. Okay, a third eyelid. A third eyelid is there, that is a nictitating membrane. That is transparent. Or glass potamari, goggles, spectacles potamari. So nictitating membrane that protect the eye when the animal is under water. It's a nictitating membrane. This is a frequently asked one. Okay, maybe 1 mark or 2 mark. What is nictitating membrane? What is nictitating membrane? It is the third eyelid, which is transparent, that protects the eye when the animal is under water. That is nictitating membrane. Nictitating membrane that protects the eye when the frog is under water. Okay. And so next is head. We are discussing the morphology. Just remember, morphology, head, what are the structures? Nostrils are there, a pair of eye. Just now we have discussed the pair of eyes. It is projected above the body surface, eyelids. And then next is the behind the eye. So behind the eye, a pair of that is what is that? A membrane. That is tympanic membrane is there. Tympanic membrane, a pair of tympanic membrane. So that considered as the ear. That considered as the ear. நமக்கு tympanic membrane இருக்கும். உள்ள இருக்குல்ல, அதான் ear drum னு சொல்றோம் பாருங்க. Tympanic membrane இருக்குது. இங்க no external ear. No external ears and a membrane, or patch of the or membrane இருக்குது, that is called, see, listen, this is that tympanic membrane that represents the ear. No external ear lobe. And head, that's all, head. Then after head is the trunk or body. There is no neck which connects the head and trunk. Okay, immediately after the head is the trunk or body. Trunk or the body. It bears 2 pairs of limbs. Okay, it bears 2 pairs of limbs, a pair of 4 limbs and a pair of the hind limb. A pair of 4 limb and a pair of hind limbs. Okay, and in between that posterior end, in between that hind limbs opening is there. That is called what is that? That cleoca. That is called a cleoca. The cleoca. Okay, why that opening is called cleoca? Why it is not called the anus? The cleoca, it is the common passage that is for the defecation. Through that, the undigested waste products. It is a common passage for the sending out the undigested waste products, also the excretory products, also the reproductive passage. That is the genital, and that common passage acts as the genital pore. Okay, that is the reproductive passage, excretory passage, everything that serves through the common opening. So that's why that the common opening is called cleoca. That is the cleocal aperture. Okay, cleocal aperture in between the hind limbs, mid dorsal. Okay, mid dorsal side, mid dorsal, just above. Okay, upper side. Okay, that is opening is there. The opening that is called the cleocal opening or cleoca, cleocal aperture, or cleocal, we can say cleocal opening. Aperture, if you forget the aperture, cleocal opening, or simply cleoca. You can write simply as the cleoca. Cleoca is there. Okay, and trunk, body, just simply. I said it's two pairs of limbs, and the first is forelimb, a pair of forelimb and a pair of hind limb. Okay, and what is the structure and function of that forelimbs? Munnangal, midirka call. Okay, usually when compared to the hind, okay, hind limb, that forelimb is short, which is short and stout, and that helpful for bearing the weight of the body. When it is leaping, the first that forelimbs only is helpful for landing. Okay, landing, that is it helpful for landing after the leaping, jumping. Okay, that is the forelimb. That is a short that function. Listen, what are the divisions are there? What are the divisions? That forelimb, which is divided into, listen, upper arm, forearm and hand. So like us, this is upper arm, this is forearm, this is forearm. Okay, upper arm, this is upper, forearm, this region forearm, and this is hand, and this is hand. Okay, similarly, this is the upper. This is upper. This region, it is upper arm. This is forearm. Forearm munadi. Forearm. Okay, F-O-R-E, forearm and hand. So by the hand. The hand. Nama kai mari, the hand. Okay, it is divided into three regions. Right? And how many digits are there? How many digits are there in the forelimb, front limb? 4 digits, or 4 fingers are there. Listen, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 digits or 4 fingers are there. If you take the hind limbs, okay, hind limbs, so which are large and long. Okay, large and long. So which is divided into thigh, shank and foot. Are they same 3? Thigh region, the thigh region, thoda mari, thigh. This is shank. Okay, the next, this is shank, thigh, shank and foot. In foot, there are 5 fingers are there. Foot, see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 fingers are there. Sorry, you said 6. Wait, there are 5 fingers, and see that 5 fingers are there. 5 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 fingers are there. And there is a web, that is interdigital membrane web is there. And the sixth digit is very small. Okay, here it's very small. it's very small, it's found that sixth digit is, it's a spot, it's small, a spot-like structure, not it's highly developed. That is that considered as the sixth digit. Okay, totally that hind limbs which are long and stout, 6 fingers, that is 5 long and 1 small, that spot. Okay, that is the considered as the sixth toe. Toe means a finger, sixth toe. That's why this frog comes under the hexatactyla species, hexatactyla. Okay, and listen, this is that legs which are very much adapted for their dual mode of life. That legs. It is that when it is land, that limbs which are helpful for leaping, jumping, okay, and the back, that is hind limb that pushes the body and jumps, and that forelimb that are helpful for landing, and the same animal when it goes to water, with the help of this that webbed feet that help, that is swim in water very fast, that act as the oars, துடுப்பு, அப்படி போட்டுக்கு ஓர்ஸ் இருக்கு பாருங்க, அந்த மாதிரி என்ன பண்ணுது, that propels the water so that it moves. Okay, and when the legs which are not in use, at rest, it's folded just like the Z, just like the letter Z, okay, which are folded. See, listen, பாருங்க எப்படி, when not in use, okay, it's it folded just like the alphabet, that letter Z, when it is not in use, when it is rest at the folding position, which is like the letter Z. Okay, and so this is very important. As I said already, it's sexual dimorphism is seen clearly. So during the breeding season, it's unisexual, male females or male frog and female frogs are found separately. How we can differentiate the male and female frogs? During the breeding season, that male frog develop vocal sacs, a pair of vocal sacs. So listen, this is vocal sac. Vocal means mouth. Okay, a sac-like structure. See, listen. A balloon-like structure that projects, they're coming out during the breeding season. With the help of that, that produces quacking noise, sound. The frog, some sound it produces. With the help of that, it attracts the opposite sex, female, for mating. Okay, for that purpose, that males particularly develop the vocal sac. Also, the males in the first digit of the forelimb, that index finger, that is, this is the 4 fingers, that is the toes, the first finger, okay, that index finger, and ventral side, ventral, not upper, lower side, that is a cushiony pad-like thickening, a cushion, soft, a cushiony pad, a pad-like structure is there, that are called nuptial pad, nuptial pad. Nuptial means mating. Okay, and nuptial pad that helpful for hold the female during the mating or copulation, right? These vocal sac and nuptial pads which are found only in male. In case of female, both the vocal sacs and nuptial pad are absent. This is the sexual dimorphism, that is a differentiation, identification of the male and female. Sexual that dimorphism is clearly seen. Okay, that's all about the morphology of the frog. Morphology. So completed. I hope you all understood the morphology of the frog, right? The next class we will discuss the anatomy. Okay, thank you, bye bye.